For this video, we're going to be talking about the Week 18 Fantasy Basketball Update, talking about the schedule, the biggest injury news, hot waiver wire pickups, players to keep an eye on, and many more. The biggest thing to know is that for Week 18, it's actually 2 weeks because the NBA All-Star Weekend is going to be happening during this time in fantasy basketball. So of course, the next 2 weeks in real life is considered for 1 week of fantasy basketball, so make sure you guys are updated with that. For those who are new, welcome to ezBUCKETZ Fantasy Basketball. My job on this channel is to help you guys win your fantasy basketball leagues, and how I do that is by posting weekly updates and of course buy low, sell high, and all that kind of information. So of course, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications to not miss any of my upcoming videos. Something important to keep in mind is my name is Soom and I run the channel ezBUCKETZ on YouTube. I'm a fantasy basketball expert, and of course, if you guys want more support, whether it's one-on-one direct messaging, giving you roster advice, trade advice, or waiver wire pickup advice, go check out my Patreon page. Link is down below for all information. And simply with that being said, I'll help you guys win your fantasy basketball leagues at another level. Check that out. Link is down below. For Week 18, we're going to be talking about the upcoming schedule. It's going to be from February 14th, Valentine's Day, and ending on February 27th. As I mentioned earlier, it's going to be 2 weeks. And of course, every single NBA team is going to either play 3 games, 4 games, or 5 games within these 2 weeks. Of course, some teams could be playing 1 game the first week, 2 games the second week, vice versa. It's just a matter of how many teams are going to be playing how many games in general. So of course, the biggest news is there's going to be 3 teams playing only 3 games. And that's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers, because of course the All-Star game is in Cleveland, the Lakers, and the Orlando Magic. So of course, owning Cleveland, Lakers, and OKC players isn't going to be the best. And then teams playing 5 games are Boston Celtics, the Brooklyn Nets, the Denver Nuggets, Detroit, Houston, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Pelicans, the Phoenix Suns, and the Washington Wizards. And every other NBA team is going to be playing 4 games, definitely a 2-2 week split in the first half of the All-Star weekend, and the second half 2-2 split. So of course, this is the official schedule for the upcoming week. So take a picture if necessary so you guys know and are welcoming and are ready to know what's going on for Week 18. Now moving over to the best injury update. The good news is that there's no new big injury, which means we're not going to be missing any new players for a long time, just day-to-day injuries. But the best news I'm putting out there is Ben Simmons is back. So for all you managers out there that have been waiting for Ben Simmons just got traded to the Brooklyn Nets, and now we're going to see how long it takes for him to get accustomed with, to get ready and get back into action. So sooner or later, Ben Simmons is going to be back, so stay tuned for Ben Simmons. The next thing I want to talk about is players to keep an eye on, players that could be returning due to whatever it is, whether it's a buyout, whether it's an injury return, or simply just, more importantly, just keep an eye on these players because they could become fantasy assets very soon. I got John Wall, Victor Oladipo, Goran Dragic, Gary Harris, Derek Favors, and Terrence Ross. Keep an eye on these players because of course their situations could change. For John Wall, Oladipo, Dragic, Derek Favors, and Gary Harris, and Terrence Ross, actually, all these players, they could get bought out and then join a new contender, which makes them reliable fantasy targets. A big one is definitely John Wall. Keep an eye on John Wall. Even Dennis Schroeder could be bought out as well by the Houston Rockets. Oladipo is going to be returning sometime very soon for the Miami Heat. He might not get a lot of minutes, but still might be a fantasy factor. As we all know, Depot is a former All-Star. And then Goran Dragic just got traded from the Raptors to the Spurs, and the Spurs are rebuilding. So of course, get ready for a Goran Dragic buyout, and then sooner or later he could be yours. Moving on to the hottest waiver wire pickups so far. I believe these players are potential must-owns, especially in 12+ league teams. I got Davion Mitchell, Malik Monk, Andre Drummond, Ish Smith, Marvin Bagley, Justice Winslow, Devin Vassell, and DeAndre Hunter. I believe these players are potential must-own caliber players due to this situation. Alright, so we'll talk about Davion Mitchell. The Kings just traded away Tyrese Halliburton, which means more minutes for Davion Mitchell. Malik Monk is going to have a steady rotation with the Lakers. The Lakers made 0 moves during the NBA trade deadline, so of course Malik Monk's value stays. Andre Drummond just got traded from the 76ers to the Brooklyn Nets. He immediately becomes the starting center, so keep an eye on Andre Drummond. Ish Smith, on the other hand, just joined the Wizards, where Dinwiddie just left, which means it's either Raul Neto or Ish Smith going to be the starting caliber point guard. Marvin Bagley is now on the Pistons, which means potential more minutes. Keep an eye on Marvin Bagley. Justice Winslow is the new player for the Portland Trail Blazers. They're in a full rebuild mode, so keep an eye on him as well. And then, of course, my favorite pickup is Devin Vassell. After trading away Derek White, Devin Vassell is going to get a lot of burn for the rotation. And then DeAndre Hunter going to get burned because Cam Reddish is not there anymore. And, of course, with John Collins just getting hurt a little bit, Hunter might get some more minutes. Moving on, we're talking about the best available streamers for this upcoming week. I got Lonnie Walker, Josh Richardson, Alperen Sengun, Darius Baisley, Raul Neto, Reggie Bullock, Jackson Hayes, Thaddeus Young, and CJ Ellaby of the Portland Trailblazers. These right here are the best potential waiver wire pickups and streamers because, of course, I'm not saying they're must own. They're just players that can potentially help you during these upcoming weeks. And, of course, their schedules aren't that bad. And right now, with the NBA season going to an end very soon, we might see a lot of these young players get more minutes and more opportunities to become fantasy basketball assets. So, of course, Lonnie Walker, Josh, Darius Baisley, Reggie Bullock, Jackson Hayes, Thaddeus Young, CJ Ellaby, these guys are potential targets for Week 18. So yes, guys, this wraps up my video talking about the Week 18 Fantasy Basketball Update. Once again, my name is Soom, and I'm a fantasy basketball expert. My job on this channel is to help you guys win your fantasy basketball league. So once again, if you're new, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But also, if you want one-on-one fantasy basketball support, whether it's this season or even next season, just know I will be available, and just keep that in mind going forward. So of course, link is down below for all information. But other than that, take it easy. God bless. See you all next time on ezBUCKETZ. Woo!
I got angels flying all